Hi, this is Greg, or Retro Greg. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV since the 2.0 beta on the PS3. So I've been using a controller for a pretty long time now. I thought since there are so many people that are playing Final Fantasy for the first time, welcome by the way, that I could share my knowledge and what I've accumulated over the years and try to help you out and help you feel more comfortable, because what I have done has made the game a lot more comfortable and a lot easier to play for me. Before I get into some job specific stuff, I wanted to focus on some general all-around quality of life changes you can make to playing with a controller in this game. And I'll be referencing this video in those subsequent job guides. Okay, first off, if you're playing on PC, you do have the option to play with a controller if you feel more comfortable that way. You can set this up by clicking System, then Character Configuration, and as soon as you open this menu, there's a little button with a controller and a mouse. Click this to toggle between mouse and keyboard and your gamepad. This is also available on console, by the way, so if you feel more comfortable with a mouse and keyboard, that option exists for you there as well. When you click it, you'll notice that the hotbar switches from your standard MMO fare to what is known as the cross hotbar. By default, you control the cross hotbar by holding down the left or right trigger and pressing the corresponding buttons on the D-pad or face buttons. That's triangle, square, X, and circle if you're playing on PlayStation. Each trigger activates one side of your cross hotbar, which has skills and abilities matched to each of these buttons. If you press the touchpad while holding down the trigger, you will have the option to remap any of the skills already on your hotbar and move them around. Personally, I feel more comfortable with my first skill on square, but this will all come down to personal preference. When you hit the start button, you'll notice this menu looks different from hitting the escape key on your keyboard, but allows you to access all of the game's menus pretty easily. All the way on the right is System, which is what we'll use to make more changes to the controller. Click Character Config again, then head down to Hotbar Settings. The cross tab is where a number of settings to customize the cross hotbar reside. Under cross hotbar controls, you can adjust how you control the triggers when you press down on them. Hold is the default setting where you hold them down and then press the button. Toggle allows you to press the trigger once, and then the buttons will remain active until you press the trigger again or press the other trigger. Mixed lets you use either the hold or toggle controls. Use what feels comfortable to you. If your trigger finger gets tired from holding it down, for instance, then you might want to give toggle a try. If you're not using the toggle type controls, you can tab over to custom and add expanded controls with L2 plus R2. This means if you hold down both triggers, you access another cross hotbar. I have this activated because you have way more skills and abilities by endgame than you had space for on your first hotbar. Also, you have access to a full hotbar, as the trigger you press first actually dictates which side of the hotbar you bring up. Not only that, but you can customize which hotbar you pull from. If you're using toggle controls and want more space, or you just feel like you need more space for quick access skills, this is for you. Activate W cross hotbar in the cross tab, then go over to the custom tab to set it up. You probably want to enable it with the double tap of your fingers for quick access. Otherwise, I think these are just there for a show. If you want a full hotbar up top, you can enable both directional and action buttons. And just like the expanded hotbar, you can customize what bars the W bar pulls from. So here, we've just made it so that you can use your triggers to have access to up to 3 hotbars without switching between them mid-battle. Well, I'm actually recording this at a later time, which you can tell because Papaya Supplier here has seen some things, or half of some things. I realized I neglected to tell you guys about how to add skills to your newfound hotbars. So, what you want to do is when you're on your main hotbar, you hold down R1 or RB and you'll get this little menu that'll show you each of the hotbars are connected to either a face button or a D-pad direction. Now when you hit one of those buttons, boom, it switches so that your main hotbar is one of the others. Let's say I wanted Rampart here, which is a defensive skill. Let's say we want that on 2. You go to your actions and traits. I'll go deeper into detail with role actions, in the individual class guides. But for now, all you need to know is that that's where you find Rampart. If you want to set it to your hotbar, it is X on the Xbox controller or square on the PlayStation, and it'll bring this little menu up. You want to switch to the hotbar you want to be at. Right now I'm on hotbar 2. And basically, you hold down whatever button combination you want it to be on, and now it's on right trigger and Y. When I'm on my first hotbar now, and I want to access Rampart, not the one that's on this hotbar, but the other one on the second hotbar, I hold R2, L2, and there it is. Let's switch to my main character to see what a level 80 jobs hotbar looks like. Okay, one last tip here. You'll notice that sprints and a bunch of other actions that were on the first hotbar by default don't appear on this bar. That's because I have a combat set and an out of combat set. When my weapon is sheathed, I have one set of skills, but when I draw it, I have my combat skills appear. You can find this setting in the custom tab. You can enable certain bars to show up when your weapon is sheathed only, or when your weapon is drawn. This keeps me from accidentally switching bars during combat that I don't need or want. You'll see here in my empty room that I do have the cross hotbar and W cross set up for my paladin here. I also have the expanded hotbar with a few extra skills available. Level 80, you do have quite a few skills and a couple of role abilities, so it can be difficult to fit everything on one bar. I think these extra bars have made it easier for me to play the game and enjoy every class I jump onto. The sort of thing that makes this work even better is the fact that there's a sharing section of the cross hotbar. So on this side, the top section is specifically for when you're using mouse and keyboard. So in this instance, you don't need that. What you're looking at is this bottom section. Every hotbar that's lit up here is being shared across all of my classes and jobs, which is important if you want certain things to stay the same, like this hotbar down here. My current hotbar is hotbar 3, and hotbar 3 is shared between all of my classes. That way I didn't have to set all of these skills over and over for every class in the game, of which there are quite a few, and you can play all of them on one character. I hope this guide has helped you out. I know this might have seemed more like an advanced guide, but I think it's best to get used to this kind of stuff before you get too deep into the game, unlike what I did. And I had to learn everything from scratch. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more Final Fantasy content or other games that I may be playing. I also do stream on Twitch Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you feel like I missed anything, feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, that's all, folks.